Hello friends! In today's episode we are going to be making Christmas ornaments that are easy using Dollar Tree supplies. Popsicle sticks, some of their clear ornaments, and lots of paint. Alright, now let's get crafting. For this craft we're going to be using 3 of these jumbo sticks from Walmart and then 2 regular sized tongue depressor sticks from the Dollar Tree. And then I'm going to take my ruler, line up the 3 jumbo sticks, and simply draw 2 lines up at the top and down at the bottom. And then once I've got that, I'm going to go ahead and take an old pair of scissors and cut away at those lines. Remember, don't use your good scissors on these types of popsicle sticks. It will trash them. I have an old set, which is my buffalo check over here to the side, that I love to use, and I just cut away with those all the time, and that way I can protect my good paper scissors or my fabric scissors. So once you've got everything cut, you can see here that I cut the tongue depressor sticks down to size, and that's going to go right on those 3 jumbo sticks. Glue it all into place, and then you're also going to add one up at the top. Now I love doing farmhouse decor here on my channel just because it's my style. I like it. I think it's pretty. I know for some people it's kind of not as trendy anymore. It's kind of on its way out the door, but I still really love it. So here I am. I'm going to just take this piece and I'm going to stain it because this is going to become a cute, almost like a barn house shutter. We're going to say that this is a shutter versus a door. And once it's all done, I added those extra support popsicle sticks to the back, and now I'm just adding some white to make it look snowy and just really pretty. Now I'm going to take this frosted fern and I'm going to bring them around in a circle. These are the tips on the frosted fern that you can pick up from the Dollar Tree. I love this. I wish I could have bought an entire box of this particular one because this was my favorite new thing they came out with this Christmas season to work with. And then I added a bow, and at this point it is turning into the cutest Christmas ornament to put on your tree. Now I'm going to come back in with some of these rub-ons from the Dollar Tree, and I'm going to cut out the letters home to be able to spell that out, H-O-M-E, and then I'm just going to rub those on and just have so much fun. You can customize these however you want, and the fun thing about them is that they can be painted in different colors. I know that we all like different size ornaments on our tree, and I really love these because these are so substantial on our tree if you hang these up on them, and you could even put people's names on them. How cute could that be? So now I'm just using my Crop-A-Dile, one of my favorite tools. I punched some holes so that I can bring in some twine on the back side. I brought it around to the front. Here I am picking off hot glue off my table. I'm always doing that because, you know, hot glue gets everywhere when we're working with it. And then on the front side I tied a simple knot, brought it down, cut off that extra, and then I added some glue to keep it in place. And then after that, you're ready to hang it up. And how cute is this on your Christmas tree? For this craft we're going to be using this clear ornament from the Dollar Tree, and it's really simple. Pop off the top and put whatever color you want inside that will match the color of your Christmas tree. Then you're going to take that paint and you're going to just swirl it around, tap it around. As it gets closer to the end, make sure you put a napkin there so it doesn't spill all over the place, and then make sure you allow it time to dry and keep rotating it so the paint doesn't settle on one side versus the other. This is such a fun and easy project to do. Then to make it look even more high-end and beautiful, I added some hot glue to the very top, and then I'm adding on some glitter with that hot glue, and it just looks so sparkly and pretty. Now I'm going to take my rub-ons from the Dollar Tree, and this is so cool because you can customize them however you would like, and it's really simple. All you're going to do is just cut out the letters you want with these rub-ons. You could also do this with your Cricut if you have a silhouette or anything like that and you want to use vinyl to put them on, but it's a really pretty way to customize these ornaments. You can even put your family's name or what year it is, or your first Christmas together. I just think these are the prettiest ornaments. Then up at the top I added some ribbon to jazz it up even more, and it was ready to be hung up and displayed. This nutcracker ornament is super cost efficient. I'm going to take 5 popsicle sticks with some black paint and paint half of the popsicle sticks with black paint. This is going to be the top part of the hat. Hold them all in place as you're painting them to make sure that the distance that you're painting down is not too far into where his face is going to be. And then make sure you also paint around the sides of it so that it's covered really well. Then for the brim of his hat, I'm going to take another popsicle stick and just snip off the rounded parts and to make sure it's the right length for his hat. And because my tree is going to be a green themed tree, I am using the color green, but you can paint this whatever color you would like. Then while that paint is drying, I'm going to go and move on to doing his face. Now I'm going to use a Sharpie marker to initially start, but you're going to see in a little bit I'm going to come back in with paint. And I do have a regret doing it this way because, friends, I should have waited for that green popsicle stick to dry so I can glue the sticks all down and in place. You can see that it's shifting around, so just be patient and make sure the paint dries before you draw on the mustache and the eyebrows. See how it's shifting around? I was struggling with this a little bit, and as I was going I kept thinking, oh, I should have just been patient and waited for the green stick to dry. Then once the stick was dry, I was able to add it and hold it all into place and move on to the next part, which is going to be the back side. I flipped it over and I took 2 more sticks just to help stabilize it so that it's nice and strong quality ornament versus it being that it looks like you did a craft project at home. I like my ornaments and my DIYs to look really well made. So then when I flipped it over and the hot glue was all held in place with these sticks, I went ahead and took some of that black paint and went back over it again, like I said, and just filled in some of those spots that I missed because of the sticks shifting around, and I should have been patient. Then at the bottom of his eyebrows, you're going to make 2 lines. Now this is going to be where you draw in his eyeballs with the paint. I took the back side of my paintbrush because I just liked the thickness of that and felt that it was more control than the bristles on my brush. And I just made 2 whites of his eyes. So I'm going right up to the line. It's almost even a half circle, it's not a full circle. And then for his mouth, I took some red paint and drew a line down at the bottom, and you're going to see that I'm going to flip over my brush again. I actually use the back side of my paintbrush all the time when I'm painting for little areas that are kind of tricky that paintbrushes don't let me get into. Then while that's drying, I moved on to his nose. I took the end of a popsicle stick and just put that right on where the mustache is between his eyes and got that into place. And then when the paint was still drying, it wasn't ready yet, I moved on to the feather at the top of his hat. So again, I'm using green for our home, and these feathers also came from the Dollar Tree, a huge pack of them. There was all sorted colors inside of them, so it was really fun to pick out the one that would work best for my decor in my home. I took another spot of hot glue. This time it's a bigger dollop of it so that the bead, when I push it down, the glue is going to kind of push out around this pearl because I want to glam it up just a little bit, not too crazy. I'm going to take some really thick coarse glitter that I found at Target that I just loved, and I'm going to just sprinkle that on that spot of that hot glue so it kind of makes his hat look a little fancy. Now going back to his face, I made the blue part of his eyeballs and then took little white dots and added those to the eyeballs, and then on his teeth I just made little white teeth. This is my favorite part for sure on this ornament. I took some fluffy fabric. Now I got this at Joann's, but you could just go to the Dollar Tree where they have their towels and pick up one of their towels. This will work really well on this part too. And on the back side I glued them down first, then put a bead of glue, and then wrapped it around the front of his face. These nutcrackers are so cute, and you can make them with all different colors to match your tree and your decor. And then at the top, so that it can hang up, you're just going to take some twine, which I also got from the Dollar Tree, and you're going to just hot glue it into place. For this DIY, we're going to be taking a can lid, an actual glass jar lid that you can get from the Dollar Tree. I took it outside and I spray painted it black, and now I'm going to use some scrapbook paper from this pad of paper. I'll link it down below, but I liked this one in particular because I felt like this damask looked like it had a little Christmas tree on it. So I went ahead and traced a circle with that center piece on the lid, and now I'm going to just cut it out. I'm going to glue it on with some hot glue, and then I'm going to pop that right into the metal ring. I'm adding in some hot glue on the 4 corners of this round lid, and now I'm going to just pop that in there so it stays in there nice and snug. Once that's nice and dry and ready to go, I'm going to take my A Dile. This is one of my favorite tools. I'll link it down below. In fact, I'll link all my tools down below. But this particular tool is the coolest because it goes through metal and wood and plastic, anything you can think of, it will most likely go through. Leather. So you can see that I ended up popping out 2 holes there, and I'm putting on a piece of twine. I tied a knot, brought it back inside of the can because I wanted to make sure it had a nice clean look. And now I'm going to bring through a piece of wire going the opposite direction down into the can. And this is so that I can wire on this little greenery. Now you don't have to do this, but I felt like the lip was not very thick on the rim or the ring of this, you know, lid. I wanted to make sure it stayed on there. So I'm just going to use this to just twist on, snip off the extra, and that way it really stays on there really well. And it's made with, you know, quality versus just kind of gluing it on. I don't really trust glue that much. And then I'm going to add on some berries and a little bow, and at this point it's ready to be hung up and displayed. For this DIY, we're going to be using 3 of these wood rounds, and this is kind of a 3-for-1 on this project. You honestly could make as many of these as you want. I picked up this box of wood rounds from Artesia. I'm going to link it down below in my description box if you're looking for some of these. But what I did was I started with painting white circles in the middle of each one, and then once they were dry, I went ahead and came in with my pencil and I just sketched on 3 different words as well as a little green vine on each of them. I like to do this first with my pencil instead of just going at it with paint because it is so easy to make a mistake and then have to start over. It's so frustrating. So I always like to go in with my pencil first. I always keep one in my craft room for measuring or whatever, or handwriting. And then I'm just now going to come in with my black paint and I'm going to take my time. This is obviously sped up for TV, but I like to take my time when I'm painting these. And then I'm going to come back in with my green and simply paint on a vine, and I've got a beautiful set of 3 ornaments. And to finish it off, I added some twine and a cute bow up at the top to hang up on my tree. You are going to take 5 popsicle sticks, lay them out evenly spaced, and then you're going to take a 6th one and make it at an angle to create a roof line. These will slide a little bit because you're not hot gluing them in place, and then you're just going to create pencil lines so you know where to cut off the excess that you don't need. You're going to have 2 shorter ones, 2 taller ones, and then the popsicle stick that is in the center point, you're not cutting it at all. Once you've got all of those things cut out, you're ready to move on to assembling, and I just used my scissors because I found that it's easiest to cut them this way. Now, popsicle sticks with hot glue, when you put them on the wood, it dries really quickly, so I recommend only doing 1 dot at a time. It'll make your project look much better without having dried, caked on glue, and things will lay flat and even. So I'm doing them 1 at a time. I did the outer walls first, then I did the center point, and then I'm doing the middle sticks. I don't know what to call these, but basically the middles. And then to make it really strong and sturdy, I'm going to reinforce the back with some more hot glue and then another popsicle stick. This is going to lock the walls all into place and make it really high quality versus it just falling apart. Now we're going to work at the roof line. Take a popsicle stick and lay it at the top. Create that little line that you need, and then you're going to lay them on top of each other and you're going to trace it. And I like doing it this way because we're going to miter these edges together, and we want to make sure we have a perfect seamless miter edge. And so you can see when I put them next to each other, they're going to be the same size. And then when you flip it over and mirror the image, it creates a roof line. So I'm going to just add that hot glue really quick and get that roof line on so it doesn't dry, and make sure you leave enough room for both of that roof line at the very tip top to meet together on the middle stick. If you have any excess, make sure you wipe it away if it's cool enough to the touch. Otherwise, you can use a popsicle stick to clean up any excess glue that spills out. Once you've got those in place, you're going to flip it over and then add 2 more of those miter corner roof lines to the other side so that it's really strong and sturdy, and again looks store-bought. Now I want to make it look even stronger and long-lasting and pretty, so I'm going to add some hot glue to the bottom, making sure I fill in any of those little holes. And this is great if you plan on painting it, but make sure you just clean up any excess glue with an extra popsicle stick. Now I decided to paint mine with some brown paint and watered it down to create more of a stained look versus a pigmented solid paint look. We're going to go ahead and move on to the star. I'm terrible at drawing stars, so I like to do the continuous line star, and then cutting it out is way easier than trying to create your 5 points yourself. I really struggle with that. Then I'm going to add just any color paint I have on hand that's light colored, and I'm going to sprinkle some glitter on it because why not? We want our star to be sparkly for baby Jesus. Once you've got that done, you'll let it dry to the side, and then you're going to take some twine and some hot glue, and you're going to create your little loop to be able to hang up your ornament on your tree. And it's really simple. You're just going to put a little hot glue up at the top peak, and it's going to just sneak right down in there between those popsicle sticks, and then you can add your star to the top. For this DIY, we are going to take these golden berries, this frosted fern, and some ribbon. This is the easiest ornament to make, and it could be used in a lot of different things. You can even put these on a napkin. You could hang them on a doorknob. I mean, they're just so adorable. So I took my cutter, my wire cutters, and I cut off one of the berries. And I didn't want to cut it all off that wire at the end. I used it to twist a little hook at the bottom, or I guess at the top, because this is going to be hanging down. And then I took the largest fern that I pulled off of that bundle earlier, and I'm just positioning it, gluing it all down into place, and then adding on 2 of these extra little bundles. These are just so pretty coming together, the frost with the golden berries. I love them. I added a bow, and then it's ready to be displayed. For this ornament, we are going to need these long sticks that they basically are tongue depressor sticks but blown up in size, and you can get them from Walmart, as well as a wood round flat just like this. So we're going to be using actually 3 of them, actually 4 now that I think of it, 4 of them, and I'll show you where I add in the last 2. But what we're going to do is we're going to first cut off the end and then shrink down the size, and then on one of them I'm going to bring in that side again. Now I guess technically you could always just leave it rounded at the end of the popsicle stick, but I wanted to have a sharper rounded edge. So once I glued on that wood round, I'm now going to take that other long popsicle stick or tongue depressor stick, these mega jumbo ones, and I'm going to sketch out some wings. We are turning these into a really darling Christmas ornament, an angel ornament. So we are then going to just cut off those pieces, and then I'm just taking my scissors and going in and cutting out little triangles to make it look like these are the feathers on the wings. It really does bring more life and personality to it when you cut out these little notches. And then I'm just going to go ahead and glue that on. And then at this point we could stop there, or we could take it a little further like you all know I love to. And I decided to put a little robe on my angel to bring more personality to it. So I'm just cutting out the sizes that I need to nestle it underneath the shoulder and the neck area of our little angel. I felt like it needed a little something bigger since the head was so big. I didn't want it to have this gigantic head on this angel, so I guess maybe use a smaller wood round and then it would be fine. But I really like how having this robe on the angel at the end turned out. So I'm just playing with it and cutting down anything that I needed to make sure the length was right. You can see here that I'm shortening the tongue depressor sticks, so that way when they're glued on, it looks like a little robe and you can see the gown underneath the robe. I just liked how it turned out. So that's just my personal preference, but I wanted you to see how you could take these sticks and turn them into something so beautiful, so easy. So now I'm just taking some water, a little bit of black paint and some brown paint, and I've created a stain. I really wanted to go with a natural wood look on this because I just thought that was so pretty. And I went ahead and just dried it real quick with my heat gun. I love having this thing. Now I wanted the angel's wings to really be standing out, so I added in some white paint here and there and distressed it. And then on the back side I flipped it over and added some twine for a hook, and it was ready to be displayed. Now I'm curious, do you decorate your Christmas tree before or after Thanksgiving? Leave a comment down below to let me know which one you do. I personally like to decorate the week of Thanksgiving. Thanks so much for stopping by and visiting today. Don't forget to check out this other video I posted a couple of days ago. And until the next episode, bye friends.